Surrender to the good Lord. Wipe your slate clean. Take me to your river. I wanna go.
Welcome to Armchair Expert. That was a little taste of something that's coming up in this episode.
A taste of something tasty.
Oh my gosh. If you're a Leon Bridges fan like us.
And if you're not,
fuck you.
get on board. He is so
Get on the
good.
back of his motorcycle. So Leon Bridges is the guest today. We're still the same people, and I'm going to skip that part,
Yeah.
okay?
Still miniature mouse.
You're cool. I'm average.
Oh my gosh.
So Leon Bridges, who, if you guys recall, we kind of went on a little love fest with him about, 7 months ago in a fact check, because we're just obsessed with him. And we played some of his songs, and I got back to him. And then on Twitter, he said, I would love to come on your show. And he came, and you guys.
Oh my God. What
I don't think we've had a sweeter.
good boy.
He's a good boy, and he might be the sweetest guest we've ever had.
Yeah.
And when you...
Well, him and Tony Hale, they're tied.
Oh my God. You're right. That's a great reference.
They're in the same category.
When Leon left, this would probably normally be in the fact check, but again, if you don't like Leon Bridges, fuck you. He left, and Monica, we looked at each other, and we both basically said at the same time, I want to keep him. Like, I want to invite him to live at the house, and I want to take care of him.
Yeah, I want him to hang out with us, and I want to rub his back.
Yes, and nurture him.
Yeah.
We want to nurture him. His new album, Gold Digger's Sound, is out now, and it is awesome. So make sure you get that on your playlist ASAP. Please enjoy Leon Bridges.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert.
Where do you live?
I live in Fort Worth.
Oh, you
Texas.
do still?
Yeah. Holding it down.
Oh.
You ever been out there?
Oh, yeah. I used to work for General Motors. Okay. And we used to, I bet once every 2 years, we'd have some stupid car show event at Billy Bob's.
Yeah.
And then we would stay at this, what a hotel. I wish I could remember the name. It was like, fucking carpet was just soaking wet with water, cockroaches everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, it was nice. Oh my God. You know my story about going into the Burger King? With the dudes all had their shirts off.
yeah,
and
yeah.
they were swearing in the microphone. That was Fort Worth.
Fun. What a good first impression.
We loved it. I'm from Detroit. And so, yeah, we felt very at home.
Yeah.
We went into this Burger King. It was hot as fuck. It was like 100. It was the only place that was open. We go in there and, like, I don't know, there's maybe 5 dudes working behind the counter and 3 of them no shirt.
Yeah.
I'm like, here we go. And then I order, I'm like, yeah, can I get a, Whopper extra mayonnaise? Yeah. Can I get this? Can I get that? Then my buddy, he's like, 1 Whopper, fucking extra mayonnaise. But he throws a fucking in there. I was like, oh my God.
Like, let me see how you feel.
Swearing over the speaker.
Fucking extra mayonnaise.
Some fucking extra mayonnaise for this man.
Did you get down on some Whataburger? I mean, that's like...
No, absolutely.
Is that classic Fort Worth?
Yeah, that's like the Texas equivalent of In-N-Out.
In-N-Out.
But you can't even compare them, though, really.
No.
So I did a movie in Austin 16 years ago. And I can't wait to see how this is going to play out.
Oh, yeah. This is
with the
good. Cool.
headphones.
No, we got it. We can make it. We'll make it work. Yeah.
This is my dilemma every time I wear a hat.
Right?
Yeah.
Are we in there?
Oh, my
There
God.
we
You
go.
look...
Totally in there.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
What's good?
First of all, you came here. This is so thrilling.
We're
You're
so
in the
excited.
attic.
Yo, this is, surreal. Like, it's crazy. Like, I had a whole bunch of friends that were just, like, blasting my phone up. Just like, oh, yeah, Dax just was shouting you out in the podcast.
Illegally playing your music,
Yes,
too.
we were.
Hey, go ahead. Get it. And,
Afterwards, we were like, is that what we get sued for? Or is that like, that's just love? Like, that's just
Yeah.
snippets.
We
I
were
played it
just-
through the phone.
Yeah. We were
Yeah.
singing your praises.
I mean, I've liked you, 15 Coming Home came out?
totally.
So 6 years I've liked you, but something about quarantine this year, you became the theme
The
music.
soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack for our whole pods last year. We play spades 4 days a week. Do you play spades?
I don't. I never got down with the cards. I just can't count fast enough. And,
It's not your thing. Dude, we sat in the house for a year playing cards and listening to, they do a good job with the Apple Essentials playlist.
Right.
Fuck, I got to back up. When it really kicked into another gear with you was when I heard your Spotify Pony.
Ooh.
I was like, oh my God. I was obsessed, annoyingly so, making everyone listen. Is this not the fucking sexiest version of this song that could possibly have been made? Oh my God, is it good?
Yeah, I don't know if I did it all the way justice, but Genuine, that's my guy. You know,
That's your dude.
when I was younger, I mean, he was the guy that I would try to emulate as far as like the dancing thing. Yeah, for sure.
Where's he
Yeah.
from?
Genuine, I think he's from Baltimore. I might be wrong.
Yeah, he's got an East Coast feel, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, Fort Worth, hold on, I'm getting distracted. What I want to tell you is that I was on this TV show, and every morning, this wouldn't be a complaint on their end, but every morning when I got my makeup done, I wear makeup, by the way, you should know now. I'm not wearing it now, but at work I do.
No, makeup was great.
Okay, great. Okay, good. Every morning getting makeup on, we would listen to Pony on repeat. And when I was in there, everyone knew, oh, we're going to listen to Pony on repeat. And that's how it was.
Leon's Pony?
Yes, Leon's
Oh,
Pony. That's why I became
wow.
obsessed with it.
Wow.
Oh my God. It was weird to start the morning with that big of a sex charge. Like 6 a.m.
You're
on a
coming
set.
down all day then off of a high.
Yeah, it's hard to keep that flow going.
I mean, it's good to get it started. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so Fort Worth. Now, the only band I associate with Fort Worth is Ghetto Boys.
Yeah, Fort Worth, the scene is kind of predominantly country, but I look at it just like myself as a small speck amongst such a dope lineage of musicians.
Yeah, who else is from?
You look at Towns Van Zandt, you look at Bob Wills, and even from the South Side where I grew up, you got guys like King Curtis, you got Cornell Dupree, and then you got Kirk Franklin. And then here comes along little old me amongst all those greats.
Okay, did you like country growing up?
I didn't. All right.
I didn't either growing up.
I mostly gravitated towards R&B music. My father was really into Curtis Mayfield
Oh, yeah.
and Sam Cooke, and my mother was into Anita Baker and Sade.
Oh, I could have taken your mom on a hell of a date.
Oh, yeah.
I know Love
for
Deluxe
sure.
inside
She would
now.
have loved it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
He still will, perhaps.
Yeah, I still will if she's up for it and your dad signs off. on
Mama?
that.
And so it wasn't until I picked up the guitar and started writing was when I started to discover Rolling Stones and Van Morrison and country music through the kind of songwriting.
Yeah, because if I have it right, and I won't have it right, but my understanding is Keith Richards was obsessed with blues, right? And he learned to tune his guitar in all these blues settings, which no one was doing in rock and roll. And that's how he got all those amazing riffs, right? They're kind of easy once you see him play them, but it's all about the tuning. So it's weird. It all kind of goes in a circle, right? Like it started with them, then it goes to, and then somehow you listen to Rolling Stones, and then it comes back to this.
Right. It's really interesting. Like, I love those guys, like the Van Morrisons and the Neil Youngs. I love how they interpreted soul music, essentially. You can hear it in the music.
Yeah. Well, the only other person that makes me feel as horny as your songs do is Van Hunt. Were you ever into Van Hunt?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
We love him.
I'm missing out.
Do you remember that song, Seconds of Pleasure, Life's Little Treasures?
Oh my God.
It was a big one.
Seconds.
Well, first of all, I'm a great singer,
I was
right?
just
We
about
both
to-
I know
agree on
you're
that.
in there, dude. In there.
You're in there.
I
You're
like
right.
those lyrics.
I'm in
We
there. I'm in
have
the
never interviewed a singer in which Dax doesn't sing. Every time we interview a singer, you find a way to sing, which
Well, Leon-
is confidence.
Leon's gonna make jokes.
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's not the same at all. Oh my God, I want you to be into Van Hunt so much. Well, I'll table the Van Hunt thing for a minute, but couldn't be sexier. Now, how did the aesthetic that you have, which is incredible, I fucking love it. In fact, I wanted in an act of solidarity to like somehow dress like you today.
Oh,
I don't have anything to do it with.
Yeah,
I
you
looked
don't
in my
have-
closet, and this is the one era I couldn't match you on.
You can get down with it. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. You have this 50s soul R&B, 50s, 60s aesthetic. When did you start becoming interested in that?
So before I kind of embarked on the songwriting thing, I was pursuing dance
Oh, okay.
at this little community college called TCC. And each piece we had to, it's sort of like emulate a certain era. And so
right.
there was this one 70s piece that we did, and I had to pull like this outfit for it, and it just kind of stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of gradually started bringing those pieces home. I was essentially stealing.
Yeah.
And that kind of became my style.
What age is this?
I was a good old like 22 or something like that.
Okay. It was like
And-
5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it was not that long. You're pretty young. You're younger than even me.
Yeah, I know.
I know, which I
It's
didn't
gonna
want to
s-
bring up, but
It's
I
going
knew
to start
you would
happening
bring
to
it
you,
up. Oh.
as you age.
Over the years, just kind of like with my music as well, like my fashion has evolved.
Uh-huh.
It's like even when I initially started writing music, it was more so of like a folk R&B thing. And then I transitioned into this kind of 60s aesthetic. And for me, I just wanted to kind of in some way keep the history alive within the music. And
Uh-huh.
so I wanted to outfit some of my narratives with the 60s thing.
Yeah.
And now it's like all about embodying the whole Texas culture. And it's like,
Uh-huh.
you know, you see the boots.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
you know what
we
I'm
see
saying?
the
They're
boots.
hard
They're
crease. They're
so
gorgeous.
great.
And I left my Stetson at home for sure.
You put that on too. And these are Wranglers?
No, I think these are Lees. Yeah.
Oh, those are
Ooh.
Lees.
I think so.
Okay. They're fucking
Shout out to
fantastic.
Wrangler. Oh, yeah.
Trusted.
Very trusted brand,
very
Wrangler.
trusted.
Mhm.
Now, but your hair, especially in motorbike, that's very 60s. I fucking love it. Is that a pain in the ass to get that perfect wave?
Man, it's actually not all that hard. It just involves like a little curling iron. Yeah, that was a style that certain guys, black men wore in the 60s
Uh-huh.
and all the way up into the 80s. And I know there's like this certain stigma around it, but that's what I love about from the 60s to the 80s era. Black men dictated what the vibe was.
Yeah.
You know,
So what is the stigma like? Oh, back then guys were relaxing their hair to make their hair straight, which is to make it like white people's.
and basically,
Uh-huh.
yeah, just like this stigma of black men trying to emulate white hairstyles.
It's so different. It's not like you ever look at those 60s. There's so many musicians that had that. Not once did I look at those and like, oh, this guy's trying to act like a white dude.
Right,
There's no
right.
confusion at all. To me, it was still very signature black culture all the way.
Right. It aesthetically looks dope.
Oh, I love it.
You know, we're going to roll with it, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, now I do have a sensitive question now. So I was married to a black woman on TV for 6 years, and her hair, I learned all the intricacies of a black woman's hair. Number one, like, don't fucking touch it. That was made very clear to me.
Absolutely. It's a very sacred thing.
And not don't touch it in the way that like white people touch black people's afro, like
Right.
weirdos. No, just don't fuck this up. I had it done Monday.
Totally.
And it's got to last till Thursday. That kind of don't fuck it up.
And kind of both. I see some people very intrigued by our hairstyles.
This was though, let me just say, these were like lovemaking scenes. And she'd go, look, everything's cool, just don't touch my hair. So-
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I might have touched her hair.
I know. I'm glad she told you not
I know,
to.
I am too. But anyways, so she, of course, sleeps in a headscarf. And she told us that when the scarf's off, her husband knows, like, it's time to party. Because I'm not sleeping in the headscarf tonight.
That's funny because I can totally relate to that because like I wear a little bonnet or do-rag going to sleep and they just like happen to slip off during the night and you just wake up just depressed because your hair is a damn mess.
I don't understand this like white proclivity to touch black hair.
Oh, I do. So if you're white and you grew up with only white people, you've only seen like straight hair or minimally wavy, occasionally like carry head curls, very rare. No white person has a afro where you could touch it and it
Right.
feels as an
know,
afro feels. It's totally wrong that people do it, but I see why. They've not
Yeah.
seen it and they want to know what it feels like. It's
But,
totally
like,
inappropriate.
A redhead you don't see that often, and I don't think people are like, "Can I touch your?"
But there's
red
nothing
hair?
tactile about touching red hair. The afro's very tactile.
Yeah,
I don't know. You weigh in. You're
Right.
Yeah, this is
I'm
a
getting
question for
scared.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think some white people are just intrigued by it, and like we can do so much to our hair. It's like my hair is like super malleable, so like you can kind of do whatever with it, and it's I don't know.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
I can part mine on the left or the right. That's what I can do with mine.
Nothing like good old part. Good old part.
Okay, so in Anderson .Paak directed Motorbike.
Ooh.
So my other great obsession is Anderson .Paak. Oh, fuck. What do we think about Anderson .Paak? How'd you come to know him? He must have just dug your shit. And did he reach out to you?
Pretty wild. So I first discovered Anderson .Paak through one of my homeboys, Sam Anderson. Funny enough, he was one of the guys that allowed me to play some music on his platform, and that ultimately turned into like my success in a way.
Is this one of the guys in white denim?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But yes, my homeboy Sam Anderson put me on the Anderson .Paak, and at the time, I mean, like, I had never really heard anybody do soul music in the hip hop realm
Yeah.
like that. Fast forward, it was kind of something my manager brought to the table about Anderson directing the video.
Yeah.
And I was a little reluctant at first because
You'd love him to play drums on one of your songs.
I'm like, yo,
but you
let's
don't know.
let's sing some. You know, I didn't know how he was on his directing tip. You know? So I checked out some of the other stuff that he shot. And honestly, I was like, okay, I think doing this collab would definitely put some more light on the single Motorbike.
Yeah, for sure.
I first ran into him at the Roots Picnic. Literally, DMX was performing, rest in peace.
Oh, wow.
And one of my homeboys was recording a video of me like dancing and stuff. And Anderson like walks into the video, and I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, man? And so yeah, we've kicked it at like various times. But yeah, he was dope to work with, man. Like,
Yeah.
super hilarious dude, like quick and efficient.
He's pretty genius level. He's tapped into some Prince stuff or something.
Totally. And I love his most recent stuff with Bruno Mars.
Yes. Super cool.
Yeah.
Have you watched by chance? There's this NPR video series called Little Desk Concert or something, or Tiny
yeah,
Desk.
Tiny Desk.
Yeah. Have you done it?
I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to watch that.
It's funny, when I was kind of on the verge of signing with Columbia Records, they asked me kind of what did I want to do. And the first thing I came to the table was like, I just want to do a Tiny Desk concert.
Oh, no shit.
Wow.
And I can go home and
Call it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wait, what? I haven't even heard.
Okay,
that.
so I discovered Tiny Desk because Mac Miller died. I'm friends with Talib Kweli. He had posted something about Mac Miller. I was like, oh, if Talib likes him, maybe I should check him out.
Right.
I check him out. The first thing that I stumble upon is him on the Tiny Desk thing, which I didn't even know about. But NPR does this cute little thing. They're in literally about the size of this attic.
Oh.
And big groups come and put on a little concert around this tiny desk.
Oh, cute.
And so then I saw Anderson .Paak's, and that's again how I fell in love with him, because he's playing the drums and he's playing 16th notes and he's singing and he's nasty and he's joking.
Right,
and I'm like,
right.
oh, the fucking comfort level this dude has in his own skin is just so appealing.
He has such an infectious kind of energy.
Yeah.
And his performance is deemed as kind of one of the best on that whole thing.
Oh, I totally believe it. I've probably watched it 25 times. I'm
Yeah.
always like, yeah. Oh my God, I can't wait to watch yours. What did you play? Coming Home?
Yeah, that was right out the gate,
Uh-huh.
2015. But yeah, I did some records off of kind of Coming Home.
And so you were dancing, but then you were also doing music, and then you started kind of performing around Fort Worth at smaller little venues, right?
Yeah, it was initially dancing, and kind of how I fell into music. There was this group of people that would like on campus that would have these kind of jam sessions. I always loved to sing. I would kind of hang with them, and we would just improv. And that was kind of how I first started like writing and singing.
And then these two dudes from White Denim, whose names I forget,
Yeah, Austin Jenkins and Josh Block.
they're from Austin, yeah?
They're actually from Fort Worth.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
They live now in Austin, I guess.
Totally. I think at that time, they kind of had a little break from tour.
Uh-huh.
I met Austin Jenkins at this bar I used to frequent called Boiled Owl. I was wearing some Wrangler jeans, and that's kind of his thing. He noticed that.
Uh-huh.
Fast forward, he pulls up randomly on this open mic that I was doing. And after my set, he was like, oh, did you write those songs? I was like, yeah, these, some tunes I've been working on. And he's like, I'm here in town for a little bit. Let's set up and make some music.
Yeah, but do you have a voice in your head like me? Like any possible good opportunity for me? I'm like, someone's trying to fuck me or something. There's no way someone would be helping me. This
Right.
can't be.
I wasn't really skeptical
Okay, that's great.
in that way. At that moment, I definitely sensed that he was genuine.
Uh-huh.
And so we met up at his spot and we kind of did some demos of just like me playing acoustic, and he took that and wrangled up the band and went for it.
How long into open mics was that?
At that point, I'd been playing open mics about maybe a year.
Okay.
I was prepared for him to say 2 weeks.
I mean, yeah, it feels fast.
I mean, the timeline of it is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because 2014, I got my first car. The top of 2014, fast forward, August is when I made Coming Home. And then December is when I signed with Columbia Records.
Wow.
And then playing crazy.
Unreal.
And you didn't even know you were a dancer just a month before that.
I was a DD, a dancer and a dishwasher.
A
Oh,
DD.
double D. D
Okay.
squared.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2014, I guess, right? You record Coming Home with these gentlemen and then get signed to Columbia. And then 15, the album comes out. The album then is nominated for a Grammy for Best R&B Album. And then
Wow.
December of 15, he's at Saturday Night Live.
Wow. Oh my God. Can you even process?
Not at all. I
You
mean,
can't, right?
that was a wild year because I think the first thing I did was before the album came out, I was invited to sing at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Uh-huh.
And then there was the Met Gala opportunity.
Oh my
and then
God.
freaking SNL and like, man, just so wild.
There's no time. Like, where did you build your confidence? Because how nerved up were you to fucking walk? By the way, I've been to SNL a couple times. When you see the stage, you're like, oh my God. Like, it's like,
Paralyzing.
it's like going to Mecca. There's like, oh my God, I've been watching this stage for me 30 years.
Right.
All the faces that have walked out of those doors and done the monologue and all the bands.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Totally. I mean, everything was so new at the time. Like, I was just so excited for all those opportunities. I didn't really dwell on the fear of playing on SNL. I was still nervous, but
Yeah.
Did you have any like imposter syndrome complex with it? Because it was all happening so
Like this
fast.
can't. I've not even heard this story. How could this be happening to me? Another part of this story generally is like you would have moved to New York, Nashville, or L.A., and you're just still
Right.
at home.
yeah.
And taking planes out of fucking Dallas to go to
Right.
SNL. That part's wild too.
Yeah. I mean, even now with all the accolades, I always ask God, just like, why did I get this opportunity?
Uh huh.
I mean, it's just wild. I mean, transitioning from the normal life that I had to whatever this is
Yeah.
now.
What was the first car in 2014? This is going to tell me a lot
Right.
about you.
Right. It was a Ford Fusion.
Okay, a Ford
Yeah.
Fusion. Can I tell you what I want you in? I want you in like a 1976 F-150 with the two-tone, and I want white in the middle and red on the outside.
Wow. Funny because I have a 78 Bronco
Yeah, you do.
in the works, white and black,
Okay.
Ooh.
two-tone.
Okay.
You,
All
you
right.
know, gotta
I
come
do
correct.
know. I do know. I do know. I do know very well. Is it already been painted?
It has.
Okay, too late.
What were you thinking?
They had a fucking green scheme in 78 that's off the charts. It's too funky. It would never be out now. It was like a light green and a forest green on the outside. And for your whole rhythm, I
Aesthetic.
think
Yeah.
it would have been you popping out of that green thing.
It fits it. You know, because I initially was like kind of rocking with the G-Wagons. And I fell in love with that. And then I kind of caught wind of those little, what is it, the Land Rover Defender.
The Defender 90s.
For sure.
Yeah,
And I was like, what car embodies Texas? And like the Bronco kind of felt that.
absolutely.
You know.
This could be another car for you. Get so many.
Yeah, you can
get
have
too
many.
many. I have too many. All I do is think about what needs to be repaired.
Right.
It's only fun once in a while, but it's worth it. So you just keep buying them. This is my next pitch for you because the quintessential Texas vehicle is the Suburban.
Right.
And if you could get yourself into like a 70, oh, the fucking lines on it. I'm going to take my pants off while I describe it. Gorgeous. Anyways, we'll just think about that.
Yeah, let's just-
we'll stay in contact. We'll do this together. This will
Yeah,
be something I'd
please,
like. Yeah. Because also, I might even buy it for you, this F-150, because it's not
I
on your
mean-
radar, but I know what you would look like in it.
Hey, I'm not opposed to that. Let's just keep accumulating cars. you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Okay, so Saturday Night Live, do you think in some way when you look back on it now, like I have this thought sometimes, like I thought I could do stuff just because I didn't know I couldn't do stuff. Like stuff early in my career for sure. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll try that. Yeah, I can play a Scottish guy. I can't play a Scottish guy, but I would have had to because I said I could do it.
Right.
Do you ever look back and go like, oh wow, now I guess I'd be nervous to walk into SNL and do that show?
I think now, if I was to have that opportunity again, I would be hella nervous.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at it, just looking back in hindsight, just like everything being so new.
Yeah.
And then just me being so ecstatic about
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just like the whole concept of SNL, just like, yeah, go. It's live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who were we talking to, Monica, that they were saying like the beginning when they start singing, they're off? Oh, it was Shawn Mendes. He said when he's walking to stage, his ego is saying like, you got to give these people a great show. You're either I'm the king, look at all these people here, or I don't deserve this. One of the two. Like the ego's really busy. And he said always the first two notes blow, and then he just fucking finally that shit just goes away, and then he remembers he just likes playing guitar and singing, and then the rest of it's like easy. And I was wondering if you have any like ups and downs when you first start a song live.
Man, it's so weird. Like I can play a tune all day, just like me and my guitar. When the cameras are on, I have so much just self-doubt, even in the middle of my performances.
Have you ever taken beta blockers?
No.
Okay, so beta blockers are things that like many people take in the performing arts. I know that they're pretty regularly used for people auditioning for like symphony orchestras, right? Where they have so much anxiety about it. And it prevents your blood pressure from getting to a certain level in your heart rate. So you never really start getting too nervous about it.
Right.
My wife takes them when she has to sing and do big shows for people, and they work amazingly for her. I wonder if it'd be worth an experiment. You'd have to do a show you didn't care about. Like,
Right.
oh, I don't really care if I fuck this one up. No one's there. And you give
Could
it
do
a
it
shot.
here.
I mean,
I can go get my wife's beta
I mean,
blockers.
I was high key like nervous before stepping into this situation, and I appreciate y'all for
Oh my God.
being
yeah.
so rad. Because
What kind of kid were you? Like in school? Were you shy?
I was really bashful and quiet as
Yeah.
a kid.
Do you have siblings?
I do. One brother and 4 half sisters.
Okay. The brother older or younger?
He's older.
Did he look out for you?
He did.
Oh, it sounds like he could have done a better job.
Right.
That was a notable pause. It's okay. I didn't look out for my little brother, so
Now my brother, he could fight. Kind of like natural fighting ability. So
Yeah.
like he always had my back whenever I'd
When it
get the
counted.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Now, when you're shy, I imagine once you take that road, like I'm shy, then girls will start kind of coming to you. I've seen that work. I've seen that
Yeah.
work.
Right.
I went the other way. I was like, look at me, look at me, look at me. But then I'd notice, what is this shy guy? He's got a lot of attention.
Because they feel safe.
Yes, they feel safe, and then
Yeah.
the women want to protect the person, and I don't know. There's something about it.
Yeah, I see that. Honestly, I think that's a quality that resonates with women sometimes. You know?
Yeah.
Because my whole vibe is when I'm out, I never really try to spark convo with women because I never really try to lean on my fame leverage,
Yeah.
you know, to get with girls, you know.
Yeah. Well, you should do it for a little while.
But,
Okay.
you know,
Well, but were you like artistic in high school? Were you athletic? Were you like, what was your clique that you were in?
mostly the dance thing because like I started dancing when I was like 11, 12 years old. I remember seeing, I think it was the Michael Jackson 40th anniversary show or something like that. And I remember trying to study like his gliding, sliding, or whatever you call it, and using those moves at the school dance the next day.
So isn't that wild though that you would be shy and then also want to dance? Because those things are like diametrically opposed.
Right? Funny thing is like, I was known as the quiet kid. Nobody knew. It was kind of a thing I only did at home. And in my senior year, I signed up for the senior show, which is essentially like talent show or whatever.
Yeah.
And I got together with some homies and we danced to This Is Why I'm Hot. My whole class, like their reaction was just crazy. Like no one knew, you know, I had it
How
in me.
exciting.
It was a secret.
You were like the girl with glasses on and her hair was up, and then she took the glasses off and let the hair down. Everyone was like, oh my God.
Right? Yeah, I totally tantamount to that. You know, no, it was dope. I had my little bit of fame. You know what I'm saying? Like, felt good. Felt good.
It's fascinating
I can't- but
because
okay.
that's hard to get up in
Yeah.
front of your school and you've been quiet and then you're like, oh, P.S. I do this. Check this out. It's just a big swing. I'm glad it went well.
And it's like, now I wonder what those guys think about kind of where I'm at currently.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really have too many close friends in high school.
Yeah, like the people you think will become successful in show
Exactly.
business. It ain't always that people. We interview a ton of people, right, that are like, they're movie stars, but they're shy and they're not extroverts by any measure and they're not the life of the party or they don't want to be the center of attention.
Well, also you weren't singing, so if they're like, wait, that person from our high school,
didn't
they
even
didn't
sing.
sing, they didn't do anything. Now they have a Grammy and they're on
Right,
SNL. Like,
right.
how bizarre if someone from my high school who didn't do anything like that was now hugely successful. It would be hard for me to wrap my head around.
For sure.
Yeah, I would dig it if I were you.
Like, it makes sense if you're a theater kid and then you become an
Exactly.
actor.
Yeah,
then
totally.
it's like, oh, they were
Pretty
trying
obvious,
even
yeah.
then. But man,
Although I'm going to argue, since they already had the experience of the kid they never heard talk once get up and fucking
Yeah.
break out like that,
that's true.
they were probably like, don't count him out of anything
He's
at
full
this
of
point.
secrets.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if you were on the next space shuttle, they'd be like, yeah, I guess that's what he did
Totally
that too.
indicative of like, yeah, where I was heading in a way, you know.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
Okay, so like when does it settle in? How long can you enjoy coming home before you're like, oh, I gotta do it again? And then do you have any fear of like, fuck? I guess like I'd compare it to Tarantino, like directing Pulp Fiction. Now it's
Right.
like, oh fuck, I gotta make another one of those masterpieces.
Right. Yeah, man. Transitioning into making my second album was a rough process.
It was.
Because coming home was like all the songs I accumulated over the years and was just like writing in my mother's garage and my bedroom and
Yeah.
all those tunes. And moving forward and just like figuring out how to push my sound forward without like alienating my fan base.
Yeah.
And that was hard because I was so used to like creating music with Austin Jenkins and Josh from White Denim. My management encouraged me to maybe go out to LA and work with this guy named Ricky Reed, who's now, I mean, he's my good friend now, but
Yeah.
I was super apprehensive
Yeah, for sure.
making that change.
The label itself, they didn't want you to like, because I could see where there would be pressure. Like, you got to do the same thing. Like, it's got to feel like we found this album no one ever heard. Because the first time I heard Coming Home, I was like, could this have escaped my perusal of that era? Like, is this an old,
Right.
you know, like before it was
yeah.
explained to me, I was like, wait a minute, did this exist? Like, it's authentic enough that you think that.
Right. Luckily, the label, they encouraged me to not stick with the same thing. And I personally wanted to keep evolving in
Yeah.
my sound.
I just feel like we both would like this song. Do you love, sorry, Monica, but I'm in love with Leon and I want to bond.
Go ahead.
Diamonds in the back, sunroof top, digging the
Ooh.
scene with the gangster lean. Ooh.
Yes, that's,
Devon?
was it William Devon?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because like a lot of heads think that that's Curtis Mayfield.
Oh, really?
It sounds like,
sounds
yeah.
very Mayfieldy, yeah.
Totally.
Oh, I love Curtis Mayfield too.
Oh man, that's
Oof.
underrated songwriter and R&B guitarist for sure.
Yeah. What was the soundtrack he did?
Oh, it was Superfly.
The Superfly soundtrack. Oh my
My favorite
goodness.
song, Think. Have you heard that one? It's kind of like an instrumental kind of vibe, but it's rad.
I know I have it. Sorry, Monica. We're
Don't worry, I'm gonna
we're become best friends.
think.
Yes.
Curtis Mayfield.
Curtis Mayfield.
Another song we're gonna steal.
Thanks for the McCowan.
Is that your jam?
yeah.
What's your jam?
Man, I've mostly been like a bourbon dude, but I'm kind of switched to the tequila
Okay.
vibe. It's a little bit more refreshing
Sure.
than bourbon. Bourbon's kind of one of those like,
heavy?
I'm an
Yeah.
alcoholic, and mine was Jack Daniels. I just fucking
Nice.
love Jack Daniels. You mix it with Coca-Cola, boy, you got a real
yeah,
cocktail
good mixer.
there.
I couldn't
Yeah.
get down with Jack much like that, but
What were you drinking, Jim Beam? What bourbon?
Woodford Reserve. I love Blanton's.
Oh, these are all like artisanal. I hadn't heard of either of those.
I mean, this is like really good quality
Okay.
whiskeys. I think Jim Beam's a little.
Oh, it's garbage. Yeah. I mean, I love it. It's fucking great. Certain things pair well with others, right? So, Jim Beam, you're not from apple country, but I am. The move during apple cider season, which is fall, where they make all the apple cider, is a barrel of the cider and then dump in a handle of Jim Beam. And that mixture, I'm not pitching Jim Beam on its own, but I am pitching the cider with Jim Beam. Buckle up.
Okay.
I mean, what a ride. What a ride.
So very
Sounds like
fall.
Yeah,
That's
very
nice.
autumnal.
No, I love it.
Did you get it? Yeah. All right, let's see.
Okay, let's hear it.
He's tickling the guitar, isn't he?
He has such a unique way of playing, and it's totally like the pioneer of all the freaking R&B licks that we hear in today's like music.
Oh, okay, now I'm recognizing it. Oh, it's so 70s.
Right.
I can see like an album cover. It's just getting painted in my head.
I can also totally see that that's your favorite. Like there are definitely through lines, I think, to your music.
Man, the 70s era is kind of one of my favorite eras for R&B music.
Yeah.
But I'm a little particular when it comes to it because there was a lot of
Garbage. Jim Beam.
well, just like I don't dig the R&B stuff that sounded like a Shaft soundtrack.
Yeah, like generic funk.
Basically.
Yeah.
And when I listened to this and like Bobby Womack, they definitely had kind of a unique thing going on.
What about the Meters and the Isley Brothers? How do we feel about them?
They're dope. I don't listen to them enough because sometimes I get stuck on one artist and
Oh, I can
hard
relate.
to
I'm stuck on this
leave.
guy, Leon Bridges. I guess a solid year. Okay, I want to talk about one song in particular. And if people told you what we were saying on the podcast, you may be already aware of this. But Shy, you channeled something with Shy. I don't know what happened with Shy. Oh
That's
my
Dax's
God.
favorite.
Oh my God. I mean, it fucks me up. When did you write Shy? What was happening? The angels that visited you, what'd they look like?
Right. To be totally transparent, like that was a very collaborative tune. So there's a writer named Dan Wilson who wrote Closing Time.
Oh, right,
Oh.
yeah.
So just kind of wanted to, in a way, kind of tell the narrative of like a sentimental booty call.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. There's a couple people. Oh, John Legend, when we talked to him, I was like, you really somehow rode the line of being sexy, and yet you didn't get into the creepy territory.
Sleazy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really a hard line to ride.
Right.
Same with Van Hunt, where it's sexy as fuck, but yet there's no disrespect within
Yeah.
it.
Right. I mean, you look at a lot of R&B music from the 90s and the message of getting down was so straightforward. So it's all about telling that story in a way that poetic. You know?
Although I have this song, probably my favorite Anderson .Paak song is Suede.
Yes.
I mean, that song has got, oh my God, so much stink on it. It's so good. And I tried to get Monica to fall in love with it. And understandably, she doesn't like it.
No, it's not that I don't like it.
Okay.
It's not my favorite. And I do think it is because there's some misogynistic stuff in there that I'm just like, okay, like, I'm not going to choose this song because it reminds me of
Right.
misogyny. So why
I
would
hear
I
that.
pick it? I like the sound is fantastic, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's moments in that song that
Oh,
reflect that.
because I just want to justify that I still love it. And so my argument was, are you getting nervous?
no, we can't. We've already talked about it on here. We
Okay.
can talk about
I'd
it
love to hear
again.
Leon's
No,
opinion.
me too. Me too.
So my opinion was this, just to remind people, if I call you a bitch, it's because you're my bitch. And as long as no one else calls you a bitch, then there won't be no problems. So that's the main issue Monica has.
It's the main
Okay.
problem.
Problemins. That's your number one problemins with it. And I said, maybe you should think about it this way. Like when black dudes started calling each other the N-word, there were white dudes on the outside going like, that's a disrespectful, the history, you shouldn't say that. That's derogatory to be. And black folks were like, shut the fuck up. This is our word now. Fuck you. You don't get to tell us how to use it. I love that.
Yeah.
And so my argument to Monica was, it is possible that the people Anderson's singing to, who he's singing to, bitch isn't the same thing that it is to you. And maybe it's not for you to decide if those women who he's singing to have a positive association with it or a negative. Maybe it's not our position to judge it because we're not in his world.
Right. I hear it. And honestly, like the vibe and aesthetic and energy in the song for me outweighs
Yeah.
This-
that little moment. Like I
Totally.
personally like wouldn't call a woman a bitch. You know?
Yeah.
What if she was your bitch?
See, this is where
You know.
this is exactly.
And ain't no fucking problem.
There ain't no problem.
That's player music. Like
Yeah.
player, not player. It totally paints a picture of just like catty vibe.
Yeah, for me, it's like, it's okay if people have a little microculture that they all live in and they all know the rules of it, and that what is being said isn't disrespectful if you're in their culture and know their rules.
But I'm not saying that's not true, but I'm saying that
For you. Yeah,
and
yeah,
if
yeah.
he is not, in your words, he's not singing for me. So then I
Yeah.
guess he's not singing for me. So
Right.
I am not gonna
yeah,
pick
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'd rather pick Leon's song.
Shy?
Shy, River, any of them.
Any number of them.
Yeah, we are fans.
Okay, now
That's
what's
love.
great though is that when I heard, you can be shy with me, at one point you go, I can be shy too, right? Baby, come over.
That's
I know
good.
you shy.
Yeah.
I can be shy. I can be.
You can be shy.
You
with
can
me.
be shy with me. Do you say I can be shy too, or I'm shy too?
Oh, and I'm kind of shy too.
Yes, I'm kind of shy.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god!
my God, you just
I got
sang a little- me too,
Yeah, I
me
got
too, me too.
goosebumps. I got. Oh my god, I'm fucked up. Okay,
It's like, yeah, we're in the same predicament. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
but when I heard it, of course, my assumption is Leon Bridges isn't shy. Like his fucking.
But he is shy.
His is well now I know. But then when I heard it and fell in love with it, I was like, his aesthetic, everything about him, he's so out loud. This dude's not shy. And then I thought, was he just telling her he's shy because so they can relate? But what I love now is like meeting you. That's such a sincere part.
yo, I mean, I'm trembling. I mean, as I'm in this interview.
Don't, please don't.
What would make you comfortable? Do we need Rob to take his shirt
Shots?
off or anything?
You know what? That could definitely break the ice. Or maybe I should take my shirt off. Or,
Yeah, let's all drop our shirts. Yeah, so now I like the song even more, which I didn't think was possible.
yeah, I'm shy to the core, but I've had to grow to be, I guess, extroverted.
It's painful though, right? My wife's kind of introverted. And it takes a shitload out of her. Like if she can do it and she can click into it. But whereas I get energy from that, it exhausts her. Do you feel exhausted after you have to do that stuff like press tours?
It's definitely draining, and for me, I recharge in the solitude. But it's funny because I can turn it on and off. It's like when I'm in my element on stage, I have a whole different persona.
Right. It's like an alter ego
It's
of
like,
that.
totally, y'all definitely got to come out to a show.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh, we're going to be at
I
every
don't
show.
play around when it get off. You know, It's,
Yeah. Oh my God. How fun.
And I guess there's more dancing than I would have guessed.
there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was my whole thing. Is like when I first jumped off, I was dancing, but I tried to avoid just how people would expect me to dance in this kind of 60s aesthetic. It's not
Yeah.
wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah, it didn't match up.
yeah. So like when I would be on stage, I would incorporate some of like the more modern and like a little hip hop in there
Yeah.
in this kind of like 60s context.
Yeah. The only guy that was like breaking out was James Brown. James Brown's the only guy in the 60s that is
Right.
like lighting the stage up on fire, dancing. I might be wrong about that. Everything else to me, like Temptations and stuff, is all choreographed. Everyone did the same thing. No one just like lost their shit, Tina Turner style,
Right.
except for him.
Totally. I mean, yeah, he was definitely kind of unmatched in that way. Like there weren't any heads around that time that were dancing in that way. And I mean, and the music was a reflection of
Yeah.
that as well.
What was the first song you wrote? And were you just like in your room and it just, how did it happen?
So the first song I wrote was this song called Conversion. And this is before I started playing guitar. And I remember I would go on a site called Bandcamp and search beats.
Oh, wow.
And so I remember sitting in my car and just writing the tune. And Conversion is a song I wrote in like 2011. And I was able to release under this collab with this band called Khruangbin recently. But it's basically about when I first kind of transitioned into Christianity and just talking about like my experience.
Were you late to go into the church? It's not something you grew up with immediately, or?
So I grew up going to church.
Okay.
It wasn't until like I was about 18 to when I developed like a personal relationship.
When it was a decision you made and not your parents made
Exactly.
for you.
Exactly.
Did something precede that? Was there like an event? Was there soul searching? Was there sadness? What led to that commitment?
Man, it's going to sound like such a minuscule thing, but I remember the time that I turned my life around. So silly, but that time I had like left my MySpace account on. This is when I was way younger.
Yeah.
I left my MySpace account on, and my mother, she like found it and just like saw that I had this whole separate life from what lines up with how a Christian should live, essentially.
Yeah. By the way, I was doing the same thing on MySpace. Just solidarity.
And it wasn't nothing crazy. And so my mother was like, you need to turn your life around. I don't know. At that moment, I just felt compelled to just, okay, I'm going to get serious about my faith and study the Bible and turn away from how I was living.
What do you pick up from that process? Like, do you feel less alone? Do you feel like connected in a way that like there's safety?
Man, I feel like my relationship with God has diminished pretty significantly, but I kind of don't even know where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
that's
But
fine.
if it wasn't for that moment, I would have never wrote songs like River or,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
It served you.
Do you remember how it felt though? I guess here's why I'm asking. When I first got sober, you're obliged to believe in a higher power.
Right.
And I was always an atheist.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't want to fucking believe in a higher power. And I'm like, and I don't want to die smoking crack. So I'm going to choose the thing I want to do less, which is like, give this a shot. And I had a moment, like I really gave it my all. I gave it my all. I was on my knees doing the same prayer over and over again. I did start to feel some weird thing that I was like there were moments where I felt safe.
Right.
I've accepted this thing in me and it's making me feel safe. That dissipated for me as well. But there was a moment where I really enjoyed that feeling for sure.
Definitely. Like, I think it's pretty rough to kind of navigate through life without believing in some higher power.
Some
you know?
meaning, yeah.
Definitely. That's kind of how it was for me. And kind of what pushed me away from it was kind of starting to see the division within Christianity.
Yeah, the politics of religion
Yes.
get a little rough.
And then kind of when I started doing the music thing, and I would say that's kind of when my faith started to decline in a way.
Perhaps it was a placeholder of purpose, and then you actually started finding your purpose and finding your outlet to feel connected to something, and that felt good as well or similar. No.
No.
I mean, you're allowed to say no.
Not at all.
I don't know. Like, I mean, music was definitely something that I could cling to, but I wouldn't say like that necessarily superseded like,
The bigger feeling.
yeah.
Yeah. Now back to your second album. It was rough because you knew you were going to evolve. And yeah, the famous saying I've heard a million times is like, artists' first album they've been writing their whole life. So for you, like 22 years or 23 years. And then now in 16 months, you got to have a whole new other life to talk about.
Right.
And that whole life is just on a stage, basically, if things are working.
I felt like, and all love to my label because they've given me the room to just make the music that resonates with me. I felt a little pressure during that process. I felt like the label just holding a gun to my head and just like, okay, give us a second album.
We love you, but you will have to turn in
Right.
an album someday.
And so the process was a little different because my first album, we set up makeshift studio, recorded all analog equipment, and my songs were pretty much already realized and done.
Yeah.
And the second process was different because so I went out to LA to collaborate with Ricky Reed. And the whole vibe was how like a lot of artists make music, but he would basically show me like a library of beats
Mm-hmm.
and I would pick what beat resonated with me and we'd take that and just like write a song to that.
Work it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that feels like a lot of pressure. Like, okay, go. You said you like this beat. What's going to come out now?
And it's also like a crazy concept to just throw an artist in a room with strangers,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
expect them to dig.
It's so vulnerable.
song.
Well, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're so exposed. You're going to fail a bunch of times before you come up with the thing that works.
Mm.
And you're going to fail in front of all these strangers. By the way, that's the one thing I relate to as an actor, which is like you go to the set, everyone works for an hour to get it ready, and then you step onto it, and then all 100 people just look.
They're staring at you. Yeah.
And you fail. You do it wrong. You get the words wrong. You don't get the emotion right. And everyone
Totally.
watches you fail
Yeah.
like 8 times, and then they start worrying like, God, I hope he gets it. We gotta move on.
And you can feel it from everyone too. Like, oh no, like I'm wasting people's time.
seriously, like-
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you do it, and then of course that has its own elation, which is like, oh, that was really hard, so that's cool. This feels good that I did it.
And this time, like, I'm collaborating lyrically with people with something I'd never done before.
Yeah,
And so during the whole process, I'm fearful of like giving any input on a certain song in fear of like it being deemed as a dumb thought or
yes,
whatever.
yes,
And so
yeah.
I was dealing with that during the process.
Well, I'd imagine too, I'd be afraid that I'm gonna lose my voice. Like I don't want conflict. I don't want to battle them. They all love that. I don't like it, and I don't really want to say anything. And oh my God, they're about to take my voice from me. That's what I would feel like.
Definitely fearful of like them or Ricky, that's my guy, I love him to death. Fearful of him making my sound too polished.
Yeah,
And my second album was a polished R&B record.
that I love. For what that's worth.
I'm glad I made that move
Yeah.
because it pushed me out of kind of pigeonhole land.
Yeah. Also, it's hard to know as a human when the discomfort's good, if it's growing pain. Like, ooh, this is uncomfortable because it's new for me, but that's not to say that it's not good for me. Versus, this is uncomfortable because I'm not getting to do the thing I wanted to do. That's a much different pain and hard to know in the moment which it is.
Definitely had to learn to kind of embrace that discomfort, just knowing that ultimately, like, this is going to be beneficial.
Yeah, you got to believe that in the back of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine you like conflict, though.
I mean, I definitely try to avoid it.
Yeah.
You
You
know?
bring in your older brother for the conflict.
Yeah, you should have him
portion.
around. You should whisper in his ear, like, I don't like that at all. I think that's a stupid lyric. Tell them that's so stupid. I would never
Right.
say that.
I don't want to, step on anybody's toes.
It's also tricky because I think they're being presented to you as experts. Like they're being presented as they know what they're doing, but it's you. Like ultimately you know the most about what you want.
And he's there for doing something that wasn't what everyone was doing.
Exactly. But I think it's hard to tell someone who's, quote, more experienced or something like, actually, I'm not crazy about that. Or
Yeah.
it's just a
That
hard
would
position
kill
to
me.
be in. Yeah, you would not do well.
I would have a hard time with that.
Yeah, it definitely was kind of a bit of a conundrum because you have these musicians and producers who've had success
Yeah.
in the past and they know what they're doing. And at the same time, just accepting that just my shortcomings.
Right.
And just understanding like, this is healthy.
Yeah, it's a chance to grow if you have the right
Totally.
attitude. Yeah, the first screenplay I ever sold, the production company was really successful. And at one point, the guy was like, you need a monkey in this script. And I was like, a monkey? This is real.
Wow.
Yeah, we put a monkey in this movie and it
No.
tested. Yes, it tested, blah, blah, blah. We put something in this other movie, then we tested it. He's like, just start with a monkey. You got to figure out how to put a monkey in there. And by God, I did.
You did it?
I did. It was my first thing I sold. I did try to
Oh my
do the best version of putting a monkey in the movie that I could.
And that's
And then that movie did not get made.
It didn't get made.
that's
no.
kind of, I mean, that's kind of tantamount to like the music industry in a way, like how some heads try to follow the formula.
Yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
I'm lucky to where I can deviate from that in my music.
But see, I really love, like, Shy would have never been on the first album.
Not at all.
And yet I fucking love that song. I mean, it is so good. For that, shut
Do
up,
you like that
Monica.
song?
You guys, there's this new song I really like. For what box it's fitting in, it's still incredibly authentically you. And yet it's in this box that I love that box. I love tons of music that's in that box. And yet it still has your fingerprint all over it. So it's all good.
I'm happy you see it that way, man. There's so many dope elements in that song. And that's kind of how I look at music is like, when I approach writing, it's like, how would Al Green sing over this modern production?
Yeah.
And I think that's what worked for me. I'm glad it translated as this is still Leon, this is still authentic.
Yeah. So were you as proud of that second album? Or did you have like fear or misgivings or?
I'm proud of it now. In the middle of it, it was pretty rough.
Yeah. And who were you with out in LA? Do you have a girlfriend or anything at the time?
No.
Oh, it's just you.
Yeah.
And you're going back to wherever you're staying.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And you're in Los
I
Angeles.
haven't been in a serious relationship in a minute. I mean,
Nor has Monica.
Oh, Dax is
Here we
trying
go.
to match.
Bum, bum,
Here we go.
She's not that shy, but she could probably play
I'm
shy.
not.
So now your new album, which is Gold Digger Sound.
yes.
This may be really weird. This has no business on the podcast, but it started to occur to me when I was reading about the new album. Was it recorded at Gold Diggers?
Yes. So, yeah, Gold Diggers is kind of this like multifaceted complex in East Hollywood. I think it was once used as a sound stage for some like 1940s movie. I heard it was a strip club at one point.
Uh-huh.
I think what resonated with me about it was just like the aesthetic, because this was going to be a place that I was going to ultimately like live in and make music. And so like there's this dope hotel and it's totally unassuming from the outside. You would never think that it is what it is.
Yeah.
And so I was definitely drawn to like the aesthetic of the rooms and the decor. That's important, like while making
Oh,
an album,
yeah.
to be in a place that's inspiring.
Yeah, visually.
Totally.
Yeah, if it's the same place, and I've seen pictures of it, it's like very era, right? It looks 60s in there or something.
Oh, totally. I mean, it's totally parallel with
Your whole
my
thing.
whole thing.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I had been working on this album over the course of 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and we felt like there was something missing. And so we felt like the only way to unlock what we needed was to kind of set up at night and create this totally like immersive experience to where we're inviting some of our favorite musicians and writers and literally like making it a party.
Yeah. Come in at midnight.
Exactly. Check in late. We got the tequilas out and the coffee and just going at it.
Oh, man.
And it was, this album process, it was almost a homecoming for me because I was able to come back to like the whole live recording process. And so a lot of these songs were derived from improvisational jams.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So this will bore you because you already know it. But up until, I guess, maybe the 70s, they could only record on like 2 channels when they recorded. So the singers and some instruments would all have to play perfectly at the same time. And then you'd
Right.
have the drummer and the bass on some other track. And then they learned to ping pong. Now there's infinite tracks, so they
Yeah.
isolate everybody. But it must be cool to go back to the like, oh no, this has to work
Yeah.
real time.
Absolutely. Back then, like you had to be cold at what you did.
Yeah.
Now we can kind of rely on the modern way of recording
Yeah.
things and stuff.
Sliding this micro hair this
Right.
way.
Yeah. It's kind of like theater versus film.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
During that time, it's like if you fuck up, it's like, well, let's start that over again. And
That was $68 worth of tape.
right.
So we got to
Right.
put a whole new reel on. That's going to take 20 minutes.
Right.
Ooh. So the new album.
But we
so-
got to go back. We got to go back to the real quick. Why do you think you haven't been in a relationship for a long time?
Oh, great question. Really good question.
I mean, you're obviously busy.
Right. That is a factor for sure.
But you're great looking. You got great style, and you got some paper. So I don't get it.
Right.
Let's hear
You know,
why.
I mean, nah. I mean, the gals, they don't love me like that, man. Nah, I'm just
That can't be true. Okay, I was like, no.
you know, I'm all about like dating with a purpose. Like I've had opportunities to be in something serious, but just like understanding like what I want and what I don't want. I love singleness, and my whole thing is like if I do enter into like a serious relationship, I want that to ultimately,
Be the whole thing.
yeah. I know it sounds crazy, but
No,
like,
no,
No,
no.
it doesn't.
You're 32, 31?
31.
Yeah. When I was 32, I met Kristen, and I was like, I can't just date people anymore because I want to be a dad by the time I'm 38. I don't want to be a dad at 48. So I got to like be really clear about what I'm looking for. A year after you, yeah, I was thinking that way as well. So I don't think that's crazy.
Right.
What are we looking for? What kind of gal are we in the market for?
Man,
You get to design her in a laboratory.
I definitely hope she's a Texas gal.
There we go.
I think it's refreshing to date women who see past the notoriety. in a way.
Uh-huh. You think that's easier in Texas?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
Sure.
Because I'd imagine here you're like hot shit, but guess what? There's hot shit like on every block. So it might just be like, yeah, I get
Dime
it.
a dozen.
Yeah, you're hot shit, but so is your neighbor and his neighbor and her neighbor.
Man, I don't know. I'm not even popping like that, you know. So I got to really bring some game here, you know. Like,
Oh, I don't think you have to do much, to be honest.
But it's more than the fame. I feel like there's something about a singer
Big
that girl,
time.
like it's not even famous, but someone who's like talented in that realm.
Well, we feel like we know your soul. I feel
Yeah.
like I know your soul. I
Right.
don't know you, but I feel like I know your soul, which is crazy, but I do.
it's interesting because like when you look at the music, I think women can have this like idea of who you are.
Yeah. Super romantic. Like every time they're with you at
Yeah,
sunset.
yeah. Sing to me.
Yeah. Where were you, honey? Oh, I was just writing a beautiful song about you.
Or like, oh, was that about me? Was that? No, well, I took bits and pieces from, you know.
Well, the other thing is, and I've always thought this. So you even said it, like you go on stage and that's a Leon Bridges. Like that's
Right.
the Leon Bridges that can deliver to an audience.
Right.
That's not you per se. That's not you at home. And I would have some fear that anyone that got attracted to me watching that version of me is going to be disappointed when they get in the house because that's not me.
Definitely. I feel like it's still a part of me, but like outside of the stage, I mean, I'm a pretty low key
Yeah.
cat. I honestly love being alone.
Uh-huh.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
Now, are you excited for the new album releasing and then all the work that'll accompany that? Because now you got to go out on tour and stuff, all the traditional stuff. Obviously, probably you're jonesing to play, huh? After quarantine for a year,
Honestly,
you loved quarantine. I can tell.
man, if it could have stayed that way, I would have been totally content.
I didn't hate it either.
Yeah, we
didn't
kinda- we
hate
liked
it.
it too.
Yeah.
I mean, now that everything's kind of gradually getting back, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm really excited to see what Gold Digger Sound is going to do. I love saying unpredictable.
Yeah.
And I think this is a new thing, and it still feels like me. You know?
Well, I've only heard Motorbike, and I love Motorbike. I love it.
Did you think it was about you, written for you?
Worse, I was like, oh, he wants to be like me.
Oh my God.
Even Leon Bridges, he wants to be a motorcyclist.
Man, that's a good one.
Do you ride a motorcycle?
Yeah, it's funny because I'm terrified of motorcycles, but I'm gonna learn ultimately. It was a moment during the writing process where I was like, oh yeah, on the back my motorbike. I mean, that just feels good. You know? But it represents kind of the unspoken chemistry between, you and your lover.
Yeah, when you're riding a motorcycle, you're not like turning a steering wheel. You are infusing with it and making it go where you want to go. It's more like riding a horse, I guess. I don't ride horses, but do you ride horses?
Nah, I don't. I don't.
Your Wrangler's begging to go for a horse
Yeah,
ride.
I grew up in the city, man. You know what I'm saying? Never stepped foot in the country. But yeah, man, I mean, heads like, they say, oh, it's similar to riding a bike. And I'm like, well, motorcycles are significantly heavier than bikes. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
More
way
power.
Totally.
Yeah, there's a lot more going on.
Right.
Now, do you have a tour already planned?
Yes, I'll be doing some festivals kind of sporadically and then touring starting September. Which I'm really
Do you tour
excited
in a
about.
bus or do you fly everywhere?
Man, I'm not that popping to be in a PJ yet. But, no, but yeah, we mostly tour in a bus.
Yeah.
Like everybody else. You know?
I wouldn't fuck the PJ. Did you see the bus, my bus, when you walked in?
Yeah, you can.
I'm all about the bus life.
Let's
I'm trying to
go.
be like you.
I'm hopping on with you. Shit, like,
Yeah,
get a bunk.
I'll drive you anywhere.
Let's go.
Guaranteed. I hope you don't mind listening to your own music the whole fucking ride on repeat.
All right, I'm all good.
So Gold Digger Sound is available for pre-order now. It doesn't come out till June,
It'll be out like end of July.
end of July.
Yes.
But you can pre-order it now, and the single Motorbike is already out. What are the odds that you would sing for us?
I got it.
You got it?
yeah.
Oh my gosh. The tiny hints that you've been kind of singing,
Yeah.
it's crazy what
PQs.
can come out of people's mouths.
No.
What song?
Oh, fuck.
Well, do we have how many? Do we have
Do we have 6
songs in
hours
us?
with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, first of all, you tell us, like, there's got to be songs that lend themselves better and worse.
Okay.
True.
Do you have a guitar?
Oh God, I should have brought my freaking guitar.
I got a guitar.
Oh whoa.
I'll go get it.
Amazing. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, this is so
Let's do it.
exciting.
And
Oh
if,
my God.
if you have a capo, you have a capo?
I do. I hope it's still on there.
Okay.
My kids play with it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yay.
Oh yeah, it's go time. Go time. I'm leaning towards doing something new, but
Okay, yeah.
So I'm used to playing with the capo. I get
Oh, I feel terrible.
This is hard.
no.
I loved you at the peak, adored you in the valley. Ultimately, a wild flame can be contained. You wanted longevity, I wasn't ready to go there with you. Brown eyes turned sapphire blue. But I'm grateful for the times that we had. I didn't mean to leave you sad. I was playing with your heart like a child. But I'd rather rain than tears fall down.
Oh, so fun for us.
I know. I know.
And traveling these wide roads so long, my heart's been far from you. 10,000 miles gone. Oh, I wanna come near and give every part of me, but there's blood on my hand, and my lips are unclean. In my darkness I remember Mama's words reoccur to me. Surrender to the good Lord, wipe your slate clean. Take me to your river, I wanna go. take me to your river. I wanna know. Dip me in your smooth waters. I go in as a man with many crimes. Come on for it. As my sins float down the Jordan, oh, I wanna come near and give every part of me. But there's blood on my hands, and my lips are unclean. Take me to your river. I wanna go. Lord, I wanna know. Take me to your river. I wanna know.
Oh
My God.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh
Wow.
boy, oh boy, oh boy.
We are so lucky. It's
The
crazy.
luckiest humans on planet Earth.
Thanks for
Oh
allowing me to.
my
Oh my God. Thank you. What a
Gift.
gift.
Is it going to weird you out if I smell the fretboard afterwards?
No, not
To
at
see
all.
if I can pick up some of your
Get some-
scent.
yeah.
It's an LB.
Oh my lord.
That was incredible.
Yeah, that was transcendent.
Thank you so much.
It's bonkers what a human can do.
I know. Well, what
It makes me
some
like-
human
yeah.
can do. Why can't we? It's not fair.
But it makes me like us as a species
Me
more.
too.
Like
the aliens love this part.
this is the aliens' favorite thing, Liam, when they're watching us from their spacecraft. They're trying to figure out what the fuck we do. We're
Like
very
all these-
confusing.
yeah.
We're zipping around in cars, going where, who knows? What's the
For
point
what
of it?
reason?
Yeah.
Right.
And then every now and then someone like you does that and they go, oh my God, these.
The
look at these-
humans.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, humanity's cool. Yeah.
Is there a song on the new album that you would want to play? Or are they too guitar heavy? You're really, really handicapped
We
right now.
handicapped you
Yeah,
big
I'm
time.
so fucking mad. My capo.
I should have brought my capo.
Here's the
and my
thing:
guitar.
my kids think that capo is a toy, and so
Right.
God knows where it's at in the house.
Let me see, like. It's in the same.
We don't stop, but the time do. Lovers in another life, let me remind you. Look back, see me behind you. When it feels good, you don't have to try. And if you say so, let's go. I know you're all that I want. And since I met you, what do I gotta do to get you on the back of my motorbike? Switch lanes, 29, oh girl, it's whatever you like. Ooh, on the back of my motorbike, write your name in the sky, oh girl, it's whatever you like. We can ride.
I have this finger picking thing that I do to it. Just need the capo. That was kind of a.
Yeah. Oh, that was great
No,
though.
that works. That works.
Oh,
How do you, okay, so when you first start singing, are you like, I'm pretty good? Like, do you know immediately? Like, I can't imagine not having done it and that being in your body.
yeah.
And then being in your 20s and like just kind of trying it, but no one's told you you're good at it because you haven't done it.
That's also kind of
This is
Seal's
complicated.
story, if I remember correctly. Do you know his story?
No.
Seal started very late as well. Like that wasn't his thing. And then he just
crazy.
started it and then he was fucking Seal. It's an impossible question because we basically
No.
said like,
And
how
then-
do you know you're great?
Well, are you just singing and like, I guess I could keep. I mean, obviously, something in you said like I'm okay, or you wouldn't have kept going with it.
Right. I think in a way, what gave me a little hope early on was when I was rocking the open mics and just like the feedback. And I kind of understood at that time of being somewhat of an anomaly in Fort Worth because like the scene is predominantly country and there weren't a lot of like singer-songwriter R&B type thing going on in there.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the R&B spectrum in, let's say, DFW, Fort Worth, Dallas, you look at like Erykah Badu.
Oh,
There's a lot of music that's kind of derived from that sound.
yeah. Which is like neo soul. We
Yeah,
would say, right?
and for me, it's great music. I just wanted to take a different path with it. Like for me, it's like kind of doing the R&B thing from a Texas lens. And when I say that, it's like it's R&B music with like country and folk nuances.
Oh man, well Leon, this has been like a for real made my
Dude.
year kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Oh
I'm
my
so
God.
happy you
Special.
came.
Yeah.
Dude, thanks for freaking having me.
Oh yeah.
Like-
oh my God, anytime. We love you so much.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, well, I'll speak for my taste. There's not a ton of music where I'm like, oh yeah, I see their soul.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that's good, but not like where
Right.
I'm like, oh yeah, I can feel what this person's heart feels like.
Yeah.
And you do that, man. It's so
Dude,
good.
I'm so happy it resonates.
Oh yeah. Couldn't be more obsessed. Really quick. LA, it just doesn't infect you at all, right? You can't wait to get back to Fort Worth.
Not at all, man. It's like I can dip in and out of it, but I'm at the core Fort Worth.
Do you think
know?
maybe it also keeps your songwriting better? In that, like Chappelle, he's like, I can't write about what's funny if I'm in the center of what's funny and I don't have an outsider's perspective. I need to go back to Ohio to have the outsider's perspective. That helps me synthesize it all.
Right. For me, I just think if I lived here, I would easily kind of get lost in the mix. It's really grounding to live in Fort Worth and to be in the place where I grew up and
Yeah.
my family's there, my friends are there.
Yeah.
And I need that for my peace of mind.
Well,
you know?
also it kind of helps in being humble.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like if you lived out here, you could start believing your own shit like I have.
Right.
And then, but if you're like, you got a new walk and all your friends and your parents are like, what is this?
What are you doing? Yeah.
Well, Leon, man, so much luck with Gold Digger
Thank you.
Sound.
Thank you.
Let us know when you have a show here.
Oh
We'll be
my
there.
I got y'all.
God, we
Got
will,
y'all.
we
yeah,
will be
we're
there.
so excited.
Pull up. We gonna party it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll be the two people exploding in the audience. That's how you'll know who we are. Is what we're gonna vaporize.
Shit,
at
hop
one
on
point.
stage. You know what I'm saying? Like,
When you play Shy
Oh,
and you
boy.
dedicate it to Monica and I'm
Oh.
gonna vaporize.
I got y'all.
We're gonna have to drive Big Brown there, even though there'll be no parking, no nothing. We'll have to bring
Yeah.
the bus.
Yep. To the Greek 5 minutes
I love
away.
that.
We
I
drive
love
the
that.
bus.
Take me 40 minutes to put the pop outs in,
Yeah.
and 40 minutes to put them back out. Well, Leon, again, man, a million thanks. So
you.
happy you came in person. It was so
My man.
Oh, what a privilege to see you sing
On that
to have your
stupid
vocal
couch.
cords, your vocal cords
Yeah.
vibrate my
Oh my
ears,
God.
I know.
not through a fucking intermediary.
Right.
It was as tasty as you'd imagine. All right, man. Good luck with everything.
My man. Thank you.
And now my favorite part of the show, the fact check with my soulmate, Monica Padman.
Damn, those are cool.
Okay, rolling.
I'm kind of jealous I don't have that color.
Get him.
Fuck, those are really cool.
I really like the mic on it.
The black.
Yeah, but it's like iridescent.
Oh, he's iridescent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. What a taupe? Is this the fact check?
Yep.
Oh, great. Yeah. Oh, this is perfect.
I have new shoes.
We can't even like start the fact check because I'm fucking mesmerized by Monty's new Jordies.
They're really cool.
They're like
if
a
I do say so
taupe.
myself.
Is that the right color?
Yeah, I would call it a taupe or a deep sand.
Deep sand.
Yeah.
Fucking A. And black.
That's right.
And like kind of gold.
Yeah, it gives the illusion of black and gold, which are your colors.
That's my thematic color.
And then the mic on it, the Michael Jordan
Yeah.
on the Jordan, is in like an iridescent, almost pinky black.
Do you know my favorite? Not my favorite. One of my favorite Jay-Z lyrics
Tell me.
is, N-word, I am the Mike Jordan of recording. N-word, you might want to step back from recording.
Say it again.
Well, I'm saying N-word. Instead of the real lyric.
I've
really had to practice at that because it's hard to get it to sound in the same cadence.
I'm glad. Thank you.
N-word, I am the Mike Jordan of recording. N-word, you might want to step back from recording.
Wow.
But he says Mike Jordan, which I fucking love.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
They're probably best friends.
I don't know.
I just feel like all the coolest people are best friends, you know?
I sometimes think that, but then I also sometimes think there's not room in the rooms for those people.
Yeah, but Jay and Mike,
Yeah.
they're so cool.
MJ.
They're so cool. They're in another echelon.
Stratosphere.
That they don't suck up any energy. Like they just sit and they're so chill.
Well, again, that could be a problem. Like both of them are just used to probably sitting in the room and being adored. But if they're both there, who's doing the adoring? But I guess they probably adore each other.
I'll be there.
If Mike Jordan doesn't adore Jay,
He does.
ding, ding, ding. What if this leads to, in the way that Liam Bridges ended up, what if this leads to them? Listen, Mike or Jay, hit me on Twitter. I'm never there, but hit me there.
M or J.
I'll find it. M or J. And we'll do this dang thing.
We also just had Tim Grover on earlier, so like we're really putting a lot of Mike Jordan out there right now.
Yeah.
And I just believe in putting stuff out there.
Too. We do. We just had a guest on today that, by all accounts, dismissed Monica and I's belief in kind of like
Manifestation.
for lack of a better, like The Secret.
Yeah, she doesn't believe in it. She was amazing. Can't
Oh my
wait for you
God.
guys to listen to that one.
I know.
It was so good.
And then there's a lot of teases.
Yeah,
Little
this is-
CT. But so what's crazy is yesterday we had a guest that Monica was a fucking dish towel on her seat. She was so crazy about the guest.
I can't. I mean,
You can't. I think you'd tip
I
your
want to
car-
say so much, and I can't say anything.
Yeah.
But I was.
In a love bubble.
I kind of still am. Like,
Yeah.
I keep thinking about it.
Yeah.
And it's doing something to me. But it's not. I mean, this.
Tell me what it's doing to you.
Okay. It is making me feel so grateful for my life
Oh, good.
that I don't want to give it away.
But
I'll have to cut all this.
Can I just say though? So I witnessed you in this love bubble yesterday, and I was happy for you.
Yeah.
I was proud of you.
Thank you.
And I don't like to be proud of anyone.
I know, which
but you gave me
take issue
permission.
to- yeah, I want you to be proud.
Yeah. So I was very vocally proud of you, and a little bit jealous of the fun love bubble because I know what that's like.
Yeah.
And then today we had a guest where I kind of got in the love bubble for a minute.
You did?
No, not nearly
Not
on
the
the level.
same.
No, just I was titillated with the person's
Of course.
whole thing.
You could not be. She was.
You were too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah. But anyways, no, it's not the same. But we both had fun, like guest experiences in the last 24
Sure
hours.
did.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Okay. Well, we've talked a long time about things people are just agitated.
Won't know
they-
anything
yeah.
about.
But okay, so upward and onward. But can I add one thing about the Jay and Mike thing?
Yeah. J&M.
J&M. So we Rob, not we, or maybe I thought it was Rob, maybe it was you. Someone asked, and I think it was Rob, asked someone on Leon's team, does he like anything to drink?
Yes.
And so Rob found out that he liked this one kind of whiskey.
You found out that he liked whiskey, and then you delivered.
Yeah, I asked what he prefers to drink,
Oh wow.
and then I just found a nice whiskey for.
Yeah. So Rob got his hands on a really nice bottle of whiskey.
Yes.
That was just kind of sitting next to the couch. It was like Mad
was
Men.
gorgeous.
I liked it. It was very sexy.
Yeah.
And he's sexy. And so I wonder what your thoughts on this. What if we had a guest that we found out loves a drug?
No.
Uh-oh.
A legal drug? An illegal drug?
Yeah.
No.
Look, drugs
We'll
are
get-
drugs. Alcohol is the same as drugs.
But it's legal.
Well, who cares?
No,
Who
I
cares?
can't. But that's the part that I feel we can't
Uneasy
do.
about?
Yeah, it's not the drug.
Because we'll get
necessarily.
arrested?
I don't know.
We
like-
didn't do it. We just bought it. I guess buying it's illegal.
Yeah, buying it's bad.
Well, we're going to have to get an armchair to donate it then.
I would feel so uncomfortable if I knew someone was like on coke and trying to talk to us. Like, but first of all, anyone on drugs, I'm sorry, if you're on like Molly or Coke or opiates,
No, you can't. I don't think you can say that.
yeah, because you're still,
think-
you're still better without it.
Hold on a second, though. You're probably right that you're better, but I also think that you might have a little bit of a like a TV perspective on what someone on Coke's like. Like
No, I've been around people on
You
Coke.
have,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because
They want to talk and talk. It's like,
well, that's what we want from our guests.
no,
kinda,
then
you know?
and then they'll be rambling. Then I'll be in my head about editing, and then
Okay.
I won't enjoy it.
All right. I just thought it'd be kind of cool if, like, we found out someone they love PCP, right? And they sat down on the couch and they looked to the right, and there was like a little.
Baggy? What does it come in?
I don't know. They lace doobies with it. I think it's a
Oh, my
powder.
God.
Yeah. Angel dust. But whatever their kink is, it's just sitting there on a little, like a silver platter.
No, I'm not comfortable having
Okay.
drugs in this attic
All
with,
right.
with,
with
an
me.
addict.
With
Yes.
me. Although that Jack Daniels is my other thing.
It wasn't Jack. It was
well,
a
no,
different
but
kind.
whiskey for me is tied with cocaine.
Well,
for
fuck.
tempting.
Well, then, Rob, that was a bad job.
God
you
damn
did.
it, Rob.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, cocaine would be worse. Anywho, all right, let me back up. What if we found out Mike Jordan would love to come on?
Yeah.
He would prefer to be rolling while he's here. So could he be on Molly? You'd say yes,
No,
right?
Molly.
Yeah.
That's a really bad one to have.
Well, why?
People are not coherent on Molly.
Yes, they are. They use it in therapy because what happens is all the insecurities you would normally have about being vulnerable and loving are gone. So you're just loving and vulnerable.
The other day, there was a birthday party, and apparently
Oh yeah, the person was on.
this person was on Molly and was out of their mind.
I heard that too. And what I pointed out when I heard it was if it had been Kristen that was like that or you that was like that, it'd probably be a really cute, fun story. I think it's being a little bit shaded by the fact that they don't like that person and I don't either.
Listen, we're talking too much about things that no,
No
one
one can- I
understands.
know, you're right.
That's the theme
It's
of this
bad.
fact check.
The frustrating fact check.
Yeah, I'm so
Welcome back to the
sorry.
frustration check.
I'll cut this. Okay. Oh no, my legs look.
What
I
happened?
hate to admit it.
What?
They look dry because I've been washing them.
Oh, yeah. And guess what? It's skirt and swimsuit weather.
Yep.
So, now would be the time to try that experiment. I can't see the dryness from here if that makes you feel any
Oh,
better.
that does.
All I see is these banging fucking Geordies.
Well, good. They're a good distraction. I mean, I guess if Michael Jordan wants to do Molly here, I'll let him. Yeah. That's
Michael Jordan and Jay-Z Michael B. Jordan are good friends.
all three of them.
No, not the basketball player. But there's lots of photos of Jay-Z and Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, get out.
Shit.
And I'm friends with Michael
That's
B. Jordan.
right. Ding, ding, ding.
Although I invited
Parenthood.
him on the podcast and he never talked to me again. We used to text.
Maybe
This is the
was that
truth.
early on in the podcast? I'll cut that.
I wonder. No, keep it. No, but I asked him to come on. And normally when I would text him, he'd respond right away. By the way, let me say, I love Michael B. Jordan.
I'm a huge fan.
He's fucking awesome. He was so fun to have around on Parenthood.
Oh,
and we got
nice.
along so well.
Yeah.
I was so interested in his whole life, as you'd imagine, because he was young and gorgeous.
Yeah, sure. That's your favorite.
That's kind of my favorite thing to talk to
Yeah.
people about. But yeah, I hit him up about coming on, and then I haven't heard from him since.
All right.
This podcast has both created tons of friendships and it's ended a couple.
No, it has not. You could check back in.
I also emailed Vince Vaughn like 3 times, and then was it 3? I think it was 2. And then he just stopped responding. Good for him, Like he already told.
like,
Actually,
"I
he never
already
told me no. He just never responded.
Yeah, that's fine for you to check back in.
Okay. Maybe they're doing fucking Wedding Crashers too.
No.
Yes, Panay is producing it.
Oh, well, then Panay can hook us up.
We got to get both those fuckers on here.
Yes, together.
Oh.
That'd be fun. I was thinking, I'll cut this, but there's nothing in this factor. We're not going to.
I want to start a new podcast called "We Got to Cut This."
Yeah. When the new movie comes out in
Yeah.
October, we should have both of them on.
Do you want to do that, or do you want to have just one?
I want to have separately and then them both on
Yeah,
together.
man. Yeah.
Because can you
Matthew.
imagine that picture?
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
It would be a picture of you orgasming.
Oh my God.
It might be the last frame that exists of you before you exploded in ecstasy. Whew. Your eyes just watered. Like you just had a physiological, like you just went somewhere. Oh my God, Monica. This is what's so likable about you. Your face betrays you. Your face betrays you. Your
I can't
eyes
control
betray
my face
you.
at all.
Oh my God, it's so wonderful. I wish everyone could see that Monica's eyes are watering and she's fucked up. Like she looks like she just left the
But
bedroom
people
with
don't
both
know
of them.
why. I have to edit
Oh
this
my
in a
God.
way.
This was useless fact check
Oh
ever.
my God. Okay. Leon.
Leon Bridges.
The good thing is there's not very many facts with Leon because he's just
okay.
a sweet boy. And
He's a
they're-
sweet boy. He wasn't like dropping a lot of data.
No, he wasn't trying to like impress us, which I liked.
No.
Genuine
That's a hard name to say.
Genuine is from Washington, D.C.
Oh.
And
He's dead?
no, he's 50. He's 50. He's 50.
What if we started thinking we couldn't talk about anything and like you said ginger? I was like, we got to cut that.
Okay. When because you talk about what car that you thought Leon would
Oh,
have.
right.
So I think we should play a game, right? Like I say a person and then you say the car.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I should have wrote some people.
We'll cut this out.
Okay, what about MJ? Michael Jordan. He loves,
All right. What I would
right?
put him
Yeah.
in, I would put Jordan in probably the AMG GT. Which is like, it's the German Corvette. It's got that cool bubble back end. It's a 2-seater. It's fast. It's sexy. I'll show you pictures
What
of it.
color?
I'd like to see him in a black version of
Okay.
it. Yeah.
How about Ashton?
You know, Ashton, he drives what he's supposed to, which is a Tesla. Because he's
Right.
all about tech.
Exactly.
And he too is rich. So
Yeah.
he's going to have a nice version.
Yeah.
But I do think I'd rather see him in the Taycan, the Porsche Taycan, which is all electric. And I think it's more in the vibe of him. Because he's athletic,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
Okay, Meryl Streep.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This is too much, but I mean, I saw it right away. Do you remember the Mercedes you decided you loved? Which is like a 60s
Yes.
Mercedes Gullwing.
It had gullwing doors.
Can you imagine if Meryl Streep pulled up in that? Like a 60s Mercedes going like so much character, so much history, so much, so fancy yet
Sophisticated,
so,
but cool.
Yeah, because it's retro.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's weird. I did 3 Mercedes. Well, no, I
know.
did. I put a Porsche in there too.
What would you give me?
You have a wife. She is not a wallflower. She's a powerful woman. We like powerful women. This is great. So I had to factor in like what you're going to get away with, basically. Like I can't buy you a fucking 2-seater sports car.
She's got an SUV now, though.
Yeah, not comparable. She's got a family machine, and I'm going to
Yeah.
get you a fucking
But
chick.
this is getting confusing as to what we're asking. Like what's practical for Rob versus what you think like is him.
Personality wise.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, so there's like what I think Rob should drive.
Yeah.
That's what we're playing.
Yeah, that's what we're playing. Irrelevant to his life.
It makes you so uncomfortable when I stare at you like this, doesn't
A
it?
little bit.
Imagine if he did an impression right now, Rob.
I know.
All right, so Rob's gonna pull up in this thing, and when he gets out, I'm gonna be like, boom, that's his
That's
car.
him.
I got it. Use your computer
Okay.
and go to Google. This is Rob. A BMW 2002.
Ooh, I like the sound of this. Wait, this
very-
boxy thing?
Very Midwestern looking.
Let me see it.
This?
Yeah.
Wow.
That or you're not impressed.
Well,
Well, I'm just saying, if Rob got out of that, does that not look like him? It's kind of punk rock, but it's German, so he's like, oh, I'm kind of have a Euro flair. I'm edgy. I'm of means, but I want to have something that's unique and not cookie cutter.
all right. I
And he's not going to have a big, like, if Rob rolled out of a big ass fucking car, you'd be like, why is he driving that big ass car? If he rolled out of like a Lamborghini, you'd be like, that is not for Rob.
Right.
This thing is like, it's got so much personality. It's got history. Let me hit you with one other one that I also think you'd look radical coming out of. And that is a BMW CSI 3.0.
see.
And you got to put the period in there, 3.0.
Okay, similar-ish.
Nice looking car.
Yeah, those are really cool. Those have started to get really crazy expensive.
That's a cool car.
Isn't that a cool car?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the sexiest BMWs ever made.
I could see Robin.
The 2002 is really cool if you do it right. I'll just say it's kind of like this car, but it's a little more obtainable.
Okay, what color?
For Rob,
Yeah.
I think an off-white.
Wow.
What do you think? I can't say
I
blue
kinda
because I
like
already
this
said
blue.
blue.
I
was
like
gonna
this
say
blue.
I want to say blue, but I already said blue for that got in my way.
I want you to be honest.
Okay, yeah. Then there's this very thin, slightly metallic light blue that car
This?
came in. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the fucking
I
car.
like that.
That's the color, and that's the car.
I like it.
It's a really cool car.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Oh, I have one more.
Okay,
Forrest Whitaker.
great, really great. So easy. Like 3 or 4 are coming to mind right away.
Okay.
It's a Cadillac. Again, this is like the car pulls up, it gets your attention, and then when the person steps out, you're like, boom, that looks exactly like the person that should own that car.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you put Forrest Whitaker in like a 72 Cadillac Fleetwood,
Oh, that's cool.
and he rolls
That
up
looks
and it's
like
like,
your Lincoln.
yeah, but it like assume it's perfect, and it pulls up. And then he gets out, you're like, fuck, man, he nailed it. That's so cool. And he can pull that off.
I think he's in a white one.
Does he drive that in a movie? Or Godfather of Harlem, I think maybe he drives something like that.
Does he? I've never seen that, but that'd be great. Show me a picture of it, Monica. I want to make sure I got the right car. Yeah, if
Yeah,
Forrest
that's
Whitaker
cool.
got out of there, you'd be like, God, he
That's
slayed
very
it.
cool.
He picked the perfect car for his. He's a big guy. He's smooth.
Yeah.
It all works.
This is a fun game.
It is for us. I wonder if anyone.
But I will cut this, but but I am curious because
I will cut this. I want that to be a podcast.
because it worked out so perfectly. I think it's the best color for me is my blue.
Yeah.
But what would you say if you had all the color options?
I had all the color options.
Oh, I thought they only had the blue that day.
No, they had like 4 different C43s.
Yeah, I like that.
And I wanted the blue. Well, mostly I gotta be honest, I was more driven by what I wanted the interior of that car be for you. I wanted it to be tan.
Yeah. I get so many compliments on the interior.
The interior is dope.
Uh-huh.
And I needed you in that color.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that concludes the game show portion of this fact check. Okay, one thing, the difference between his guitar and what he played.
Oh, that's really important.
Yeah.
It actually wasn't the issue. The guitar was fine. It was that he needed a capo. And I have a capo, but my kids fucking play with it. And I couldn't find it. And I was like panicked running around the house. And I was screaming. I was like, I know what my kid. The kids don't even know what that thing is.
No.
Like I'm describing it and they don't even know what the fuck I'm talking
And
about.
how do you describe it?
So a capo is this device that you can put across all 6 strings on a given fret. And what that allows you to do is quite often, many of the chords you're playing, you would be hitting the same 2 frets anyways. So you put it there permanently and you no longer have to use those 2 fingers to hit that. So you can just concentrate on the other parts.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He did such an insane job even without his capo and his guitar that he's used to.
Can we add to that? Like we always are in this precarious position when we have musicians on, which is like we want them to fucking sing.
Yeah.
But it's also like having to stand up on and like, do some of your set.
I know.
That feels a little
Rude that we asked.
Yeah. But we asked and he immediately was like, oh, I'd love to. It was so sweet.
God. If you could only listen to one Leon song for the rest of your life,
Shy.
yeah. Yours would be Shy.
Although, man, Motorcycle's growing on me a lot. The more
It's so good.
the more I hear it, the more
I think I would have to pick River.
That one is more timeless than all the others.
What a dreamboat.
We want to nurture him. I want in my house to be him, and then in the next room over, Robert Durst.
Oh,
And take care of both these boys. I'll protect them, and I'll feed them, and I'll bathe them, and I'll clothe them, and I'll take care of those little boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay. Love you.
Love you.